The Weatherman chicken parmesan.
The chicken parmesan is my favorite. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's to my future bride, Brittany Renee. I don't see you on here. I hope you're working. I hope you're doing something. All right, hey, it's time. Let's jump right into this topic today. This is something I'm going to be very, very passionate about. I may say some things that are a little controversial. If I say something bad, Cousin Charlie, hit the button on me. Cut me off.
We need a buzzer. We need a buzzer.
Cousin Charlie, you're new in the business, but I expect you to fully participate in this show because to me, you're new in the business, but you're not new on knowledge. There's a lot of real estate knowledge you've got. I see it all the time. You are becoming the greatest.
Sure.
I'm just kidding. But no, I'm serious. You are becoming the great one.
He's definitely in the top 5 over here.
He's definitely in the top 5 of us. Yeah. Definitely. I can say it with certainty. So, hey, I need to get these shares up. Mike Hardwick, are you really on here? I see that you've joined. I'd be such an honor to me if you're actually on here. So,
hey, before we start, I would like to give a plug. Y'all going to GrowthCon, and you talked about it earlier. You know, Michael Burt is grown leaps and bounds. It's an opportunity to know that one of our hometown guys, Coach Riverdale, is from Murfreesboro, that lives in Murfreesboro, that has a Murfreesboro-based business, is fixing to be on a platform that is known nationwide. And so it's pretty cool that's happening. So Michael Burt, our hats off to you. You know Tommy's a big supporter, but, you know, all of Murfreesboro, hey, you know, in life, we're either going to be liked or not liked. He always said it one thing, I want to do business with people who want to do business with me. But my friend, you are definitely on the map, and we applaud you and appreciate everything you bring to us, and we're so dang proud of you.
He's the greatest. He is the greatest, and he is going to be speaking in front of roughly 10,000 people. I think it's next Thursday. I will probably post some live video because, you know what? It's going to kind of feel like I'm up there.
Wouldn't it be great if he mentioned your name?
Do you think he could? I'm pretty sure that he won't.
Wouldn't it be great, though?
Yeah, that would make me feel spectacular. So, hey, here's what we're going to talk about. How picking the wrong agent is going to cost you a lot of money. This is something I'm getting very, very sensitive to. Very sensitive. So, I want to take this. Hey, touch
feel
it.
sensitive.
I feel sensitive.
That's like
Dove salt. Shaking up there.
Wow.
So, I want the public to understand. I don't know if the public, if you don't buy and sell houses, if you're not involved, I think people in the business take it for granted. They just think, hey, you should know, hey.
Yeah, oh, man.
This person does this or this person does that. How many people actually know that there are 2 agents in every transaction? How many? I don't have any stats because, in Charlie, did you understand before you got into the business that there was actually 2 agents?
Yes. Hey,
you did?
Think about this. Well, 2 agents, possibly 2 brokers, 2 title lenders, 2 attorneys. I mean, so the list goes on and on and on and on.
Kathleen, did you understand that?
I did not with new construction. I thought it was just that. You just bought directly from the owner.
Sure.
Okay, and I think you're a very, very smart, educated person.
Yes. When we went to GoodTimeTommy, then we started getting educated.
Well, but I think if you thought that, I think it's common to assume. Get in here, ProGar. We need you up in here, girl.
There's the sheriff.
Lisa, sure. Do you think most people out there understand in a real estate transaction there's 2 agents involved?
No.
Okay. What do you think most of them think?
They think that you're representing everything. That they hired you and you know everything and you're representing both sides.
Okay. So what that tells me is we need to probably over-communicate early on because you get involved in transactions, and I don't know, hey, Lisa, you might keep me out of trouble, so I'm going to ask you some questions.
Give her the buzzer, Charlie.
Get the buzzer so we can, okay, so you'll understand this. There's a buyer agent side, and there's a seller agent side. The buyer agency is helping the buyer. They're looking for all of their best interests to be met. They're trying to protect them. They're advising them, and they're only worried about their buyer.
Right.
Whatever they have to do, they are there to protect their buyer. Okay. Now we flip-flop to the other side of it. The same thing is going through the listing agent side. They represent the seller. They only care about the seller's best interest. The seller and the buyer only want you to care about their interest. They do not want you helping the other side out at all.
Right.
Would you like to, should I add anything to that?
Well, it also, there's a, exactly right. And so there's so many different emotions. So you have to stay loyal to your side and go by what you know, and no matter what. I mean, because that's who you represent. That's who you represent. It's on everybody's part to represent their folks. They do have what they call a dual agency. They have all kinds of things. Nobody ever uses those because they're just too dang tough. So, yes, a lot of people don't know that, and once a buyer, and right now nothing with agents coming in the market. I've been doing it a long time. I still make mistakes. We all make mistakes. There's a lot of new people coming in, but guess what? We are constantly, forms are changing. Our TAR form just changed a couple years ago. People were getting curtains that thought wasn't supposed to have curtains. So there's so many different forms now. Contracts used to be about this thick. Now they're about that thick. And so that just shows you how. And what that means is there's been mess up after mess up after mess up. So let's fix it. Let's fix it. Let's add this. Let's add this. Let's add this. And so really, you've got a period of time to do a lot of things for your buyer or your seller, and you work for that person of what you can handle, what you can do.
Okay. So is there anything else you'd like to add to that, Lisa? To the fact of the buyer is being protected by his agent or her agent, and the seller is only being protected by their agent.
And that's how it should be.
That is how it should be.
That's how it should be.
So let's talk about this, because I do think, can you represent both parties equally? Or equally wouldn't be fair. Can you represent one agent? Can he represent both parties and do the best job for both people?
It's really, really tough.
It is tough.
I don't think it's possible to do that.
Well, why not, Cousin Charlie?
Well, you've got to have loyalty to somebody. And when two people are in a transaction, if my loyalty is, say, to the seller side, and then I try to be a super nice guy and start trying to help the buyer out, well, I may know the selling size car. The car's what they're holding. I can't be loyal.
And he's stuck in the middle of you, and he said, this is point A, this is point A. You want to give his price, both sign right here. And then you still got to pay a fee, but, they have no communication between it. But if you're in it long enough, you're going to end up having a connection with one or the other through whether it's kids or sports or what football team you like. And next thing you know, boom, you have some type of relationship, and now you're in this predicament.
And I guess it would depend on the personality of the person. Like if I was a seller and if Weatherman said, hey, I got somebody for you, and this is all they're going to be able to do. I mean, because I might like Weatherman enough, hey, let's just go ahead and get this done. If they can't give me all the money that I want, can they do something to make it easier on me? Right. So sometimes I see where you could do it, but for the most part, I think you're right, Cousin Charlie. I think if you're Ronnie Martin, my favorite banker, First Bank, 615-890-1111. If you ever have any commercial needs, call him up. But he told me something. He believes it's impossible to give the best level of commitment to a buyer and to the seller if you're one person representing both sides.
Right.
It's impossible.
Right. The same way that you can only do what's in your ability to do. So I don't mind telling you, we have a wonderful lady in our office that takes care of all of our paperwork and keeps us in check.
She's back there.
I know. I don't want to call her out. But, and so right now, nowadays, with everything we have going on, if you had to keep up with all that stuff, it is so easy not to forget something, not to have something, to do all these things. So it takes a team, actually, for the most part, to do multiple deals. And then you got a title company that has an attorney that makes sure that everything is documented and all that stuff. So, Man, it's a lot. Man, it's not an easy business.
It is a lot. So here's where things start to bother me. When things get out there where, let's say, because of the way the system is set up, there's two parties that are competing against each other. They're negotiating against one another. And you could do a great job for your client on one end.
Yep.
And you could do such a great job, you make the other party upset.
Yep.
And then that person gets to go around town and they get to talk bad about you.
Yep.
They get to say that you're not the greatest.
Yep.
They get to say that you are terrible. And somebody, and I'm not talking about me, believe it or not.
We know you are the greatest.
No, I'm talking about great listing agents like Dan Elam, John Jones, probably a Courtney Yates. They are very good at protecting their sellers' best interests.
Sure.
I mean, they're like they're like bodyguards.
Bodyguard.
Okay?
They forward at the castle. You can't come across this tote.
That's exactly right. Hey, is something wrong with our internet? Is that what it is? Okay, but it looks like our viewers are going.
It's Valentine's Day, man. Everybody's in line
Valentine's
today at the
Day,
Bonefish, waiting in
I think
line.
our viewers are so. But let's take these people who I got lots of respect. Bud George.
Yeah.
He's another person. I believe they are fantastic at representing their sides.
Yeah. Same way with Old South. There's some great Old South agents do the same thing.
They do a great job of representing their company. So the fact that John or Dan or Courtney or Bud do such a good job, the other people might get upset about it.
Yeah.
And then they get to trash Dan for doing, he was just hard to deal with. Mm-hmm. But he's doing a job, and I guess that's probably the way it is. But I get sensitive to that because I hear people talking about people. So here's what I'm getting at. Sellers slow down and they interview around, and a lot of times they may talk to one or two or three different agents to see how they feel about them.
Sure.
Then, because sellers are the ones that pay for the whole transaction. So they're going to make sure that they're getting the best possible representation that they can get because they're paying for it.
Yeah.
Now, what consumers do is whenever it comes time for them to buy a house, they don't do the same due diligence. They don't equip themselves to go out and find the best negotiator that they can get.
Right.
They end up picking the first agent that they talk to nearly 70% of the time. The first agent a buyer has 70% of the time, a meaningful conversation. They don't ask challenging questions. If they like them, they end up using them.
Yep.
They go out and they buy a house, and then they're mad, and they blame the agent.
Yep.
Now, whose fault is that? Here's where it can get tough, Cousin Charlie. Whose fault is that?
It's their fault.
Whoa. Oh, taking a stand.
Dang.
Well, why do you think they won't slow down and go out and get the best advice they can get for free?
I think the way we live now, when we see something we want it now.
Yep.
I don't want to wait. I go to a car lot, and I'm with my wife. We're leaving with the car.
You saw me do that too, didn't you, Cousin Charlie?
I have been with you, Pop.
Yeah.
I've seen him do it twice.
But someone goes to look at a house, and they get that fever, like, man, I want this house. And, hey, there's a sign across the road with the guy's name on it. They're going to pick up the phone and call him. And like you said, the stat, 70% of the time, they're going to talk to that one agent. Mm-hmm. He's going to say, he's going to sweep them off their feet. Never mind them doing their due diligence, asking the right questions, because, hey, they have a financial stake at it, but are they doing what they need to, doing their homework?
Sure.
No, because the fact is they get wrapped up in the moment, and they get wrapped up in this moment, and it costs them nothing. Just think about this. How much money starts to add up. if you